Hello and welcome to Murphy's Garden, and you join me this evening just here by the long walk, and just by the long walk we've got the box hedging which I actually give the spray. I did it spray with the top boxes just yesterday because it's been really difficult treating it because you have to do it on a still dry day, and that's been rather difficult to find a day like that, but it was yesterday, so I've took advantage of that and I've done it with the box treatment. So if you're interested in that, have a look at that video. But the reason why I'm here is because I just wanted to show you the Nepeta. So this path is flanked with Nepeta all the way down on both sides. This side's doing better than on that side because in hindsight we did put the box hedging a bit too close, sorry, the U hedging a bit too close to the box hedging, so the gap between the two is quite tight, and for that reason it's the Nepeta can't really do as well as it does on this side. I think we did a lot of restorative work on the U hedging last year because it had a lot of, we planted it from, you know, quite small plants, and it had a lot of very long lateral growth, and so we did quite a lot of restorative treatment on it last year, taking out all those lateral ugly looking branches, and that's really worked, and we've got lots of beautiful forward facing growth, so that's great. But I think when we were doing a lot of the work it got a bit trampled and things last year, so it is coming back. But for that reason I wanted to take lots of cuttings and replace some of them that had got a bit damaged, just to fill in any gaps, and there were a few little gaps here. And if you're planting en masse in any garden, no matter what size, sometimes it's really impactful if you can plant lots of plants together. But to do that you need a rather large budget if you're going to buy all the plants from a garden centre or a nursery, and so it can be quite prohibitive really from a cost perspective doing this kind of planting, because it's just so expensive, and unless you're very, very rich, you can't really stretch to that. At least I can't. So for that reason, if you've got a garden, you've got some ideas, it's a really good idea to get good at propagation, because it saves you so much money, and it's also very rewarding to be able to produce all these plants for free. And I had one original plant of this Nepeta, and now look at all of the plants I've got now. So it's a really effective way of doing things if you want to produce things on a bigger scale. So we'll head back. It's now June, it's the middle of June, but back in May, a month ago, we planted some of the cuttings that we did. We took the cuttings, Olivia took the cuttings, I think in about, probably about March, April time. But having said that, you can take cuttings. I've taken cuttings at any time of the year. If you choose the time that you're doing it, now would be a good time. It's been quite cool. It's the evening, it's not too hot, so it would be a prime time to do it. They are all in flower. It is better to take them from non-flowering stems if possible, but if you can't, it's still possible to get them to grow. So I will just show you what to do. So just cut a bit off. The variety, I think this is Six Hills Giant. To be honest, I can't remember when. I think I had one plant. Well, I had one plant originally. I can't even remember where I got it from, but I don't even know if I had a plant label, so I don't think I've ever really known what it is, but I think it might be, it's quite a tall one, so I think it might be Six Hills Giant, but there's all sorts of different types you can get, Walker's Low and various other ones, so look into all the different varieties. The other thing that gives a similar effect is planting lavender en masse like this, and that can look really good. What I would say about Nepeta over lavender is that if you've got very light free draining soil, actually which we have, and it's in full sun, then lavender would do very well. This is mostly sun. That end tends to be in a little bit more shade, but lavender probably would have done. I kind of thought afterwards maybe I should have done lavender. However, the Nepeta does look good. Nepeta is a little bit more tolerant of shade. It does better in shade than lavender does, although it does still like quite a bit of sun. The other thing that someone suggested I could do as well is Perovskia, which is the Russian sage, and that likes, if you've got very poor soil and a sunny site, that will also do quite well as well. But as it is, we've got Nepeta and it's looking quite good, so I'm going to stick with Nepeta for the moment. So cut a bit off. Now the way the cuttings, how it works is that you get the shoots, the little shoots coming from where the leaf node is. So what I do is just take off, just go up close. So I'm going to take off the leaves at the bottom here. You can just pinch these off, And then what I'll do, just show you, there is just underneath that leaf joint. So I'm simply going to cut there, and that's where the roots are going to come from. They're going to come from that leaf joint. Now I could get quite a few cuttings from here. So what I'll do is take that out, take that out, and take that out, and that will make a nice little cutting. And take off any flowers. You don't want any flowers, because if it's flowering then it will put all its energy into the flowering and it won't have the opportunity to get its roots down before it starts to wilt. So with any cutting, it's a race against time, so you've got to try and get it to root before it wilts and dies. So that's one little cutting. If it's a hot day, best not to do it on a hot day, but if you happen to be doing it and it's a hot day, perhaps you're at a friend's house and they've got some Nepeta and you want to take some home, then put it in a plastic bag and it will last a little while. But if you're going to root it straight away, then you don't need to do that. So then with the rest of this stem, if you stick that in like that, it won't root because there's no leaf node. So you're going to cut it to the next leaf node, like there. Take that out. I did do a Nepeta video quite a while back. It was one of the first videos that I ever did, and somebody commented on the other day and said that the camera work was really bad, and it really was. It was one of my very first videos, so I thought for that reason I do need to do a new one. So that's just got one leaf, but that's fine, and that's going to go in. Just going to stick that in the soil as well, like that. And you could get another one. So take it off like that, and don't try and root it, don't try and put the flower in, just get rid of the flower, and that can stick in there. So we'll go up to the greenhouse and we'll go and stick this in some soil. Okay, so now I'm in the greenhouse and I've got my little cuttings here, and I'm just going to fill up the pot with some soil. Now, if you can hear a banging noise in the background, don't worry, it's not Alistair shooting rabbits. I have had some people not very happy. We haven't shot any rabbits, we haven't even got a gun. It's Alistair with his nail gun, rabbit proofing all down underneath the hornbeam walk. We have rabbit proofed all the way round by the Leylandi hedge, and it's been really successful. The rabbits were trying to get in but couldn't, so that's quite encouraging. So fill the soil with compost, and then I'm just simply going to stick the little cuttings round the side. And the reasons for doing it round the side is that when it fills up with water, if you leave it outside or if you water it, it's most likely to rot off in the middle, because that's where the moisture sort of accumulates in the middle of the pot. So by putting it around the outside, the cuttings are more likely to take. So that's all I do. You can use rooting powder, which may increase your chances of success. I find I don't need to, I don't really bother, and it generally takes. You can put it in a plastic bag if you want to stop transpiration occurring. Again, I don't really bother, and I have success. So that's it really. You can keep going, you can do lots. Always best to do quite a few rather than if you just do 3, you're only going to have 3 plants. So do lots, do as many as you think you're going to need. Allow for perhaps a couple of failures, but on the whole they root very easily. And it's as simple as that really. So I'll take you now to some of the ones that Olivia did, which are round at the side, ready for her Tatton flower show garden. So we'll just go and have a look at those. And I'm just going to put them in some water, and that will just soak into the soil, and then I'll take it out tomorrow morning and then just monitor them. So I'm now just here in these raised vegetable beds, and those of you that have been watching the video will know we've got all these. Alistair finished building these for me. The intention is to put vegetables in them, but I'm just using them because we had the problem with the rabbits and it was endangering all these lovely plants that we've been growing for Olivia's Tatton flower show garden. I thought to be on the safe side it would be better just to put them in here to keep them out of the way of the rabbits. So in here I've got some Nepeta, the Nepeta Cuttings. I've used most of them on my pathway, but some of them I kept for her show garden, so I've just been bringing those on a bit, and they're doing quite well. So we'll just keep bringing those on a little bit more, and hopefully we've got another month away and she can use them in her garden. But we'll go now back in time to May, when I took her little cuttings that she did and I put them in the garden on the path. So we'll just go back in time and have a look at that. Olivia actually took these cuttings when she was home, and you can see they're actually getting quite pot bound. She's put in 5 plants per pot and she's done a tray, so I've got quite a lot here, and they're all in flower. I could pot them on, but because we've had a big downpour last night, it's now the middle of May, so the soil is lovely and warm, and it's also very more than moist, wet, because as I say, we had this deluge of rain. So I'm just going to put these straight into the ground and fill in the gaps, because it's nice, I can see where the gaps are. And here you can see I've just broken the plants up into individual plants, and they're ready to go into the ground. And this is where I wanted them for. I've got a big gap here. Something that's a good idea to do when you plant these little cuttings is just, it seems a bit mean, but off with their head. I'm going to just take them back a little bit, so they're putting all their energy into these lovely flowers. And although I love them, and funnily enough, so does this bee. There's a bee on the cuttings here already. No. And although I love them, and so do the bees, it's a good idea just to cut the flower off. The little bees have got plenty more over here, so I'll put him on there. But what I will do is just cut off their heads. It seems a bit mean, I know, but by doing that, what that will do, it will be encouraging them to put on more roots, and also to bush them up a little bit, because at the moment they're very tall and slim and not particularly great plants, because they're very leggy. So by doing that, just cutting them off, that will encourage them to put on lateral growth, and that's what you want. So you want nice bushy plants like the ones in here are. So I've taken them out of the container. This one's just got 4 in it. So I'm just going to gently just break up the roots. And same with this one. And then they're good to go. They're good to go in the ground. And now you know how to do it. You can have as many Nepeta plants as you want, and the bees will thank you for it. So thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye for now.